Coming in at number 10 is the nation with the sexiest color in the game, namely Rajputana. Despite me butchering the name of this beautiful nation, Rajputana has some of the best ideas in the game. They start off with a morale of armies and military-free policies, and have as their ambition +5 discipline. They also get land fire damage +10%, manpower +15, core creation -10, as well as movement speed and cav combat ability +15 and 10% respectively, and some artillery cost reduction. Rajputana also has its own mission tree if you have the Dharma DLC, which gives you claims on pretty much all of the northern part of India up to about Bengal, as well as gives you a couple of permanent modifiers. Being in the northern part of India, it also means that it is going to be super easy for Rajputana to have the Mewar gold mine, or if you start as Mewar in forming this nation, you definitely will have that gold mine from the very beginning. Another thing to note is that Rajputana's main trade area should be in Gujarat, which if done correctly means that you can prevent most trade from flowing outwards into the European parts. So from an economical point of view, you're gonna have insanely great economy from the mid all the way up to the late game, and you also have access to the Rajput regiments, which are specific units that give you extra morale as well as lower the reinforcement cost and the regiment drill loss by 50 and 25%. Rajputana can also form Bharat, which is the nation of India if you choose to stay Hindu. One thing to take note of is that you don't get claims on the southern parts of India, which you do need in order to form Bharat, so you will have to manually get the claims if you plan on forming the nation of Bharat. Ninth on our list is from the lowest of lands, namely the Netherlands. One of the jack of all trades of nations, the Netherlands has a lot of great ideas, starting off with sailors and naval force limit modifier +50%, try to beat that, and they have as their ambition trade efficiency +15. They also have some really great military ideas such as land fire damage and a siege ability, as well as marine force limit +5% and naval leader fire +2, and they have great playing toll ideas, namely dev cost -10%, merchants +1 and trade range +10, and yearly inflation reduction +0.10. The Netherlands also has a lot of great unique modifiers such as the development of Amsterdam that gives -25% local dev cost, so you can actually dev up this one province for 5 mana points per development. The Dutch also come with their own unique missions that will definitely boost up and spice up your games, with plentiful of settler chance, tariff increases, temporary modifiers that help you boost up your colonial and imperial ambitions, as well as a permanent modifier of +1 merchants. Their position in the English Channel is also really great, seeing as if you play your cards right, you can get a significant portion of the trade here, and with that finance your global expansion, or just simply have the tallest nation in the world with every province at 50 development if that's what you go for. Regardless, the Netherlands is definitely one of the best playing toll nations and one of the most overpowered nations on our list. Next up on our list is the nation with likely the best ideas in the game, namely Texas. We have our heretical and heathen provinces, no penalties, together with fire damage -10% and morale of armies +15 once we get the ambitions filled. Texas also has a lot of great other ideas such as land fire damage +10, goods produced, movement speed and land attrition, yearly army tradition decay, stab cost, and dev cost -10%. Another great thing about Texas is its location in the New World. You can easily outmatch any of the other nations in the New World, or colonial nations for that matter. What Texas does lack, however, is any unique modifiers that boost it up, or any missions for that matter. Without a really good set of missions or even any specific government reform, Texas doesn't really match the other nations on our list, even though their ideas are really great and their position is amazing for expansion. The next nation on our list definitely defies the laws of land force limit because it is Russia, and Russia is a massive nation with a ton of buffs and modifiers. Getting this straight out of the way, Russia most likely will have the highest land force limit in any multiplayer game if the Russian player knows what he's doing. The Russian ideas include manpower +33%, as well as core creation -10% and yearly legitimacy +1 once you fulfill your ambitions. You also have aggressive expansion -10 and the Siberian frontier, which basically lets you colonize any province for 20 diplo points as long as it is connected to your capital. You also get artillery combat ability and cost -10 and +10% respectively, land force limit +50%. This is a massive deal, especially in multiplayers. Yearly corruption and advisor cost -10%, as well as morale of armies +5 and fire damage received -10%. But that's not all. The Russians have their own specific government reform, the Tsardom, which gives you +20% national manpower, as well as governing capacity +250 and yearly absolutism, together with autonomy change -0.05. You also have some specific Russian abilities, including the possibility to lower autonomy by -10 in specific provinces and to raise the Streltsky. Streltsky are specific Russian units that you basically get for free from interacting with your government, and which have fire damage bonus +10%. Remember that this also stacks with the fire damage received -10%, so you can just say that Russian troops in the fire pip phase, so that's basically all of the mid and late stages of the game, are quite good. Another thing that the Russians can rely on is their geographical position. As you might know from history, most of the empires that tried to conquer Russia did not really succeed very well, and that's kind of valid in EU4 as well, as the attrition likely will kill most of an enemy's army if you choose to mess around with them and let them run around the Siberian plains to chase you down, or if you just build a few forts in Siberia. Another great thing about Russia is that it is an Orthodox nation, and it can get another 33% manpower modifier from its religion, together with 5% discipline and manpower recovery speed. So overall, manpower and land force limit wise, Russia is gonna be the best on this list. As part of the 1.30 update, a previously quite lacking nation has become one of the best formable nations right now. I am of course talking about the Holy Roman Empire, with its great national ideas that include Diplo Rep +2 as well as possible policies +1, which basically means that instead of 3 really great policies, you can have 4 really great policies. Once you fill up your whole idea set, you also get admin efficiency +5%, and on the way to get there, you also have morale of armies +15%, legitimacy +1.5, improved relations, national tax +20%, core creation -20%, and discipline +5, together with governing capacity +10%. As you can tell, the Holy Roman ideas are really great for expanding, as well as for doing a bit of diplomacy if that's what you're into. They also have their own mission tree now, starting with the Blood and Iron that gives you claims on all of the Low Countries, Italian region, French and Polish region. Yes, I am talking about the entire regions. And then as you secure these regions, you get temporary buffs as well as Diplo military admin points and more claims on the entire Baltic, Scandinavian and Carpathian regions, which will give you more admin, Diplo or military points as well as manpower. And a really great bonus that you can get is the industrialization of the Rhineland until the end of the game, which gives +15% local goods produced modifier for every province with the manufacturing in the North Lower Rhineland and the Palatinate. Going into the Far East, we now have the nation of Qing, formable by the Manchu tribes or the Jurchen tribes, whatever you want to call them. Qing basically takes the position of Ming after you've crushed them and you've reformed into the Great Qing Empire. The Great Qing ideas include core creation cost -20%, aggressive expansion impact -10, and once you fill up everything, -15% advisor cost. You can also get +30% possible Manchu banners, manpower recovery and manpower available +15%, national unrest -2, years of separatism -5, admin efficiency +5%, as well as monthly autonomy change -0.05 and state maintenance -15, and the creme de la creme +15% morale of armies and prestige from land battles +50%. Qing also comes with its own missions. After you've finished the Manchu missions, you're gonna get an extension over here. One other thing that makes Qing really overpowered is the fact that they have the Manchu banners, which are specific units available only to the Jurchens that have +5% discipline bonus, as well as maintenance cost -50%, which means that cavalry is definitely not too expensive now, and they only cost 25% manpower. That means they don't use 100% manpower, but they do have 1,000 manpower in each unit, even though it only takes 250 manpower in case this unit is lost. It does come, however, at a cost, as it has a reinforcement speed of -50%, so once these units are crushed in battle, it will take a while to recover. It wouldn't really be a Ludi video without a second Germany in it, let's be honest here. Of course, the Imperial German nation is quite different from the Holy Roman Empire, even though they have the exactly same mission tree. They do, however, have different ideas, and this makes a massive difference. The Imperial German tradition starts off with infantry compatibility plus 15%, as well as yearly Republican tradition or legitimacy if you're not a republic, and once you fill up everything you get also Diplo relations plus 1. As our first unlockable idea, we get national unrest, followed up by minus 10% tech cost, plus 5% discipline, trade efficiency plus 10%, yearly army tradition together with admin efficiency and goods produced modifier plus 20%. Despite not having the core creation cost reduction that the Holy Roman Empire has, the Imperial German ideas are definitely better, as they have a great mix of playing toll and military ideas, as well as if you did form Germany as the Prussians, you can also keep the Prussian government type, which gives you another 10% discipline. If you like throat singing, you're gonna love this nation. I am of course referring to the nation of Yuan. Yuan definitely deserves this spot, especially because of their great ideas, which include national manpower plus 25% with cav compatibility plus 20 from the get-go, and once you finish off the great Yuan ideas, you get governing capacity plus 10%. You also have core creation cost minus 25%, morale of armies plus 10, tech cost minus 10, shock damage plus 10, movement speed plus 15, as well as envoy travel time together with admin efficiency plus 5 and goods produced plus 10%. Remember the movement speed plus 15%, as this is going to be really important. Forming Yuan is quite easy as the Oirats. You just need to kill off Ming, which is not really that hard. Yuan is also sort of a precursor to the Mongol Empire, and once you do form the Mongol Empire, as you are going to be one of the few nations that can form it, you also get a special Great Mongol State government reform. The good thing about Yuan is that it's going to be really easy for them to conquer all of Asia and its surroundings, as it gets claims on pretty much everything around. And once you've managed to conquer everything and you can restore the Mongol Empire, Yuan becomes an absolute beast, since the Great Mongol State reform gives you national manpower plus 20%, a land force limit plus 20, yearly horde unity, years of separatism, but the most important thing of them all, you get plus 20% movement speed, which together with your plus 15% movement speed means that you get 35% faster troops than any other troops in the world. This is only available if you form the Mongol Empire as Yuan, so I am actually gonna just attribute this to Yuan, as it is one of the 3 nations that can actually form the Mongol Empire, and because the Mongol Empire does not come with anything else except this one government reform. Goose stepping into the next position is the nation of Prussia, known as one of the best nations and one of the nations that you don't want to see formed if it's not your nation in a multiplayer. The Prussians definitely have it all. They have amazing ideas that include discipline plus 5%, aggressive expansion minus 10, and yearly army tradition plus 0.5, as well as stab cost, morale of armies plus 20%, infantry compatibility plus 20% as well, national manpower plus 25%, as well as recruitment time minus 10, and dev cost minus 5%. Aside from having one of the best combination of military ideas in the game, namely the 20 infantry compatibility with 20 morale of armies and discipline, the Prussians also have their specific and unique government reform that gives them the militarization mechanic, which offers up to plus 10% discipline, manpower recovery speed plus 20%, as well as land maintenance minus 20%. This is also available to the nation of Germany if Prussia forms Germany, but if Germany is formed by another nation, that this is not a guarantee that you're gonna get the militarization. The 10% extra discipline is gonna make a massive difference in multiplayer games, and the government reform also comes with a monarch guaranteed military skill of plus 3, national unrest minus 2, war exhaustion minus 0.02, as well as autonomy change minus 0.075, and maximum absolutism plus 10. The Prussian missions also are insanely great. Aside from giving you claims on pretty much all of Germany, you also get some super great permanent modifiers that include the development of Königsberg, which gives you a university or some admin points if you've already gotten that one. You also get army professionalism plus 5% from the professional army event. Renovation of Berlin gives minus 20% permanent dev cost reduction in the city of Berlin. Empower the Junkers gives you militarization plus 0.02 and army decay reduction. Reform the state gives you even more great modifiers, and enlighten absolutism gives you 1 admin for your leader, as well as plus 20% maximum absolutism permanently. You get more events such as the army reforms and the army with the state that gives you another permanent modifier of a minus 15% reinforcement cost, regiment drill loss minus 25, and army drill gain plus 25%. Once you've gotten the German Confederation mission done, you also get until the end of the game admin efficiency plus 5%. So if you choose to form Germany as the Prussians, you can get up to plus 10% admin efficiency from the German ideas together with the permanent modifier from the Prussian mission tree. And the most overpowered formable nation in the game is the Mughals. The Mughals' idea at the very start include core creation cost minus 25%, as well as cav combat ability plus 20%. And once you fill up everything, you get minus 5% tech cost. You also get 5% discipline, idea cost minus 10%, and 1 free military policy. What really shines about the Mughals is that you can quickly get minus 50% core creation cost, or even better, minus 60, as we'll see in a few moments, from the very early game, which will help you if you decide to do a world conquest as the Mughals. The Mughals also have their own specific missions that give them a lot of claims and nice modifiers that boost them up and help them in their conquests. But the reason why the Mughals get to be first in this top 10 is because of the Mughals D1, which aside from 150 governing capacity, also grants them the amazing assimilate culture mechanics. This is something unique to the Mughals that nobody else has, and this is extremely overpowered. Basically, once you've integrated a culture fully, you get a specific bonus. So for example, once you have 100% of the Iranian culture integrated, you get advisor cost minus 10%. Similarly, for Hindustani, you get minus 10% core creation cost. So remember that we can get minus 50 from these two ideas here with another minus 10 very early on, as Hindustani is basically the area where you need to start conquering to form the Mughals. Every single culture group in the game gives them a bonus, so the more you expand and the more cultures that you include in your massive empire, the bigger the bonuses and the more interesting the bonuses that you have. This really helps out the Mughals in carving an empire and making it really easy even for the newest of players to do a world conquest as this beloved nation that is also situated in the center of the world. Basically, from here you can start your conquest into the east, west, north, and south, wherever you want to go. The world is yours for the taking. If you guys enjoyed this video and would like to see more videos like these in the future, then hit that like button.